Hey guys, this is Dylan here, back again with Jowers Technology Solutions. Again, I know I say this too much, but it's been a few weeks, but here's another video. So today I just want to throw a video out there on basically Nmap because I know unfortunately, I see many networks where a customer or person doesn't know what's on their network necessarily. There could be something plugged into the switch in a wall jack somewhere. They have no idea where it's at or what it's doing or where it's going. Anywho, uh, so the purpose of this is to show you how to scan and kind of weed out what's there and why it's there and if it needs to be taken off or left alone. So we're gonna hop right into it, and then as we go, I will point out things and tell you what you need. What I'll give you recommendations on what you should do with it, if there are any. So go ahead and open up your web browser, whether you're on a home PC or on your business PC. If you're on a business PC, make sure that it's okay with your management or your boss or whoever. But this is just a quick rundown of seeing what's on the network. So anyway, go ahead and open the web browser. Navigate to this URL, nmap.org/Zenmap, and then that's going to bring you to this web page. And then go ahead and Nmap download page right here on about the middle of the page. And then you're going to scroll down a little bit further, and then right here it says Nmap 791 setup exe. Go ahead and click that. And if you're using Firefox, it's going to pop up this dialog box, save file, and then I have pretty quick speed, it's like 26 megabytes. Anyway, go ahead and click Nmap right there, and it will pop up to run. There we go. So I'm just going to use all the defaults. That's what I recommend. It's not a big issue. Just going to click. Takes it just a moment to install, so it's not too bad. Alright, and as a disclaimer, I'm going to put a disclaimer in the description as well, but as a disclaimer, this is for your network only. Don't go off and connect to somebody's Wi-Fi and start trying to scan stuff. I'm going to say this in the most simple way possible. There have been issues in law where people have treaded the line between do and don't do. I try to go by the rule is if you feel like you would get in trouble by doing it, then you probably shouldn't do it. If you're home or in a lab that you own, then by all means go do whatever you want. If you're in a business and you're the IT guy, get permission. Don't just go do things on the company's network. If you're a pen tester and you're doing some red team, blue team type stuff, get written permission. Make sure that document is 50 pages long, describing exactly what you're doing and what your right and lefty limits are. More often than not, people mess up, and so that's my advice: is to written legal permission. Don't touch it if you don't have permission. So anyway, we're going to continue through. I'll go ahead and click next right there and finish, and then next, and then next, and then finish. Okay, here we go. So we have Nmap, and then this is the Zenmap GUI. Go ahead and double tap that. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. For simplicity here, I'm going to go ahead and click the search bar, type in CMD, command prompt, and then type in ipconfig. If I can type right. There we go. So here we go. This is your current IP address for your machine that you're on. This is the subnet mask describing the range of your network, and then here's your default gateway. So this addresses how your device gets out to the internet. So if you have a subnet mask like this, I'm going to show you how to type it out over here. So in the target, you do 10.1.1. This is your network piece, and then for your host, you're going to do a .0. And then you're going to do a /24. Alright, so if your default gateway and your subnet mask look like this, then your target needs to look like that. Okay? If not, post it in the comments, let me know, and I will do the best I can to help you out. So the first thing we're going to do is we have our target in there right now. So I'm going to go ahead and maximize this screen, and then we're just going to do a ping scan. We don't need to do an intent scan on the entire network. That would take forever. So we'll go ahead and do a quick scan and then hit scan. There we go. So this is going to take just a moment. Bear with me. If you need to skip ahead, feel free to do so. Alright, man, that was actually really fast. But then again, I only have 7 host addresses, so that was, yeah, that, I guess that makes sense. It was fast. So in this this listing we see here, to make this make sense to you, this right here is your IP address. So this is my default gateway, and these are the ports and services that are open on my default gateway. Alright, so normally if you see port 53, that's okay if it's your network, if it's a network device or an edge network device, I'll call it. That's your DNS. That's what allows you to, for those that don't know, that is what allows you to go to websites. So whenever you open up a web browser and go to facebook.com, you typing in facebook.com and hey, enter causes DNS to say, hey, let me go find the IP address for the server that we're going to send you to for Facebook. So that's just an example. Port 80. Port 80 on a network device is bad. We don't want port 80. Port 80 is unsecure if you have somebody that gets on your network and they're doing a what they call a man-in-the-middle attack, which is whenever they plug into your device and they start sniffing network traffic. If you send username and passwords over, if you send credit card information over, any type of sensitive information, if that's sent over the wire and they're sniffing it, then they'll get it. Port 443, this is what you want instead of port 80. It uses security protocols, so that way you don't, if somebody, what that means is essentially if somebody sniffs that traffic, even if they get that traffic is encrypted so they can't read it. They'll have to figure out a way to get the encryption key to decrypt it, and that's not easy to do. So this is what you want to use. This is a second firewall I have set up right now that so it's got all the same ports open, and so same thing. What I would, to go take a step back, what I would recommend is if you can't disable port 80 or if you can't turn it off, I would highly recommend you trying to find a device that does allow you to remove port 80 or just not turn it on. Moving on, so 12 and 18, and I believe 12, 18, 20, 20 right here, and 17 are, I believe they're all Windows devices. 19 and 20 maybe not, or I'm sorry, 20 maybe not because I only see this port open. I won't speculate on that too much, but anyway. So if you see ports 135, 139, 445, these are all Microsoft services. So you're most likely looking at a Windows computer. This right here I know is a Windows server because I set that up in my lab to test it out. Not sure why these ports right here are open, but that's just something for me to go look at some later point. Port 22, okay, so here's a good one. So port 22, this could be a network device, or this could be well, basically a Linux device, because it's probably a network device running off some form of Linux, or it might be a Linux box. Either way, so here's what I would say about SSH. If you need it to be open, I would highly recommend you make sure that you're using strong encryption ciphers and strong passwords. What was it? SSL is out. TLS is taking over. So if you don't have the ability to not use SSL, I'd recommend getting off of that and getting a better device. If you can't use strong encryption ciphers, same deal. You want your, especially for your home, maybe not so much as a worry because your home, do what you want on your home network. On the business side, if you can't use TLS or if you can't use strong encryption ciphers, I would find something that could. And obviously, as always, strong passwords, always a huge thing. On the flip side of that, if you don't need port 22 open, then I would close it. If you have a way to get to it over web GUI that's secure, do that instead. Or you can do security through obfuscation, as they call it, which means that you can configure SSH to use a different port, maybe a high port. I've seen it used on port 2222, 4444, something like that. Something that's not in a common range of port numbers. What's next here? I think that's all I have on this little lab network, which is fine, not a big deal. I just wanted to go over the basics of this. So what you could do, I'm not going to do it in this video because I'm already up to 10 minutes, and I try to keep these videos shorter for y'all so that you don't get bored with it, because I know that listening to me talk is like listening to, nails on a chalkboard, so to speak. Anyway, what you can do if you want to get a deeper insight on something is, let's say for example, um, dot 12 is a Windows box, so I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to take it up here and I'm going to put it in place of that IP range. There we go. Alright, and now I'm going to do a, let's do an intent scan. So this is going to take a minute. Feel free to skip ahead in the video if you want, but I just want to give you just one more little example of seeing a little bit deeper on a device. Alright guys, so you see right here that it popped up actually a good bit of information. Right here it says, where did I see it at a moment ago? It says it was okay. Here it is. So initiating OS detection. Try number one. Try number two. So for whatever reason, it was not able to necessarily detect the OS. Even right here, it says warning: OS results may be unreliable because it could not find at least one open and one closed port. And then this is kind of where it's even says it. It says just guessing right here. Just guessing it as to one of these OSs. But you can almost certainly divulge that it's a Windows box. Even I know that I said the port said that, hey, that is a Windows box, but most of these things indicate that it's a Windows box thoroughly. Apart from the exact distribution of Windows, whether it be 7, 8, 10, or a server distribution like 2012 or 2016 or whatever. So anyway, but this just gives you a lot more information to look at. From looking at some of this stuff right here, I don't. There's a lot of information you could use. You have the domain name right here. Let's see here, what else? A lot more information. Anyway, I'm not getting into the weeds of that. I just wanted to show you that this is what you can do to learn more about whatever device you're scanning. Alright, so with all that being said, the reason why this is important is because if you have somebody that's on your network at your house, for example, as creepy and disgusting as it sounds, people can get onto your network and people can get into your webcams or your IoT devices or whatever, and they can do things. I'm not one for that kind of stuff at all, and my job is to try to protect people in those situations, whether it be more on the business side, but my job is also to give advice to people that aren't as security minded, and that's fine. Not everybody's meant to be an IT security guy, but the point is that if you have a device on your network that's not secureable or that somebody can use against you, then I would recommend getting rid of it. On the business side, it happens every day that we've had a ramp up in hackers and attacks and whatnot in the last couple of months due to political things coming up. So just keep those things in mind. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a quick example. I had a webcam, and I was using a Linux platform, and I was actually able to see that webcam going back to certain countries that it didn't need to be talking to. So again, just another example, but keep all these things in mind whenever you're looking at your network. If you are looking at your network, and just do the best you can. That's the end of the day. That's the only thing you can do is the best you can to secure it and make sure that it's working right. And yeah. So guys, I hope this video was entertaining. Probably not, but I hope it was insightful at the very least. If y'all have any questions, put it in the comments below. If you like the video, please like it and please subscribe. I'm doing more content as we go along, and I'm happy to educate and to answer any questions I can. So thanks, guys, and y'all have a good morning.